The murder of an American hostage is postponed. Details at 10.
Thursday, August 3rd, 1989.
It's a mystery story that has everyone stumped.
There are some inconsistencies.
Why did Thomas Root wind up in the ocean with a bullet wound? His first television interview live.
Don't leave me.
The American hostages in Lebanon. Can they be rescued? How do you punish their captors? Secretary of State Baker joins us live as military experts develop a plan.
The social question of the summer. Can men and women be just friends?
They'll want to have sex with you.
They do not.
Do too.
They do not.
Do too.
An electronic prison worn on the body, monitored by computer, for one of the world's richest men.
And Roseanne Barr, who says she's been dissected and critiqued, and she's ready to sound off.
There, I feel better now.
Roseanne joins us live tonight.
From ABC News in New York, this is Primetime Live. Now Diane Sawyer and Sam Donaldson.
Well, good evening and welcome to the first Primetime Live. Sam and I are delighted to be here at last, and we hope we're going to see a lot of you on Thursday nights because we plan to be traveling the world, exploring the news of the week. We should tell you right at the outset that from week to week, this broadcast is going to change as we ask questions, drop in on locations around the world, bring you investigative reports, and introduce you to people we think you're going to want to meet. And because it is live, please bear with us if we're surprised along the way, perhaps as surprised as you.
Diane, going live without a script, you know, is exciting, but it's also a little scary. It's a little bit like Evel Knievel getting on his motorbike, trying to jump the Grand Canyon. If he makes it, it's terrific. If he doesn't make it, it's a long way down.
No parachutes here, no parachutes.
No parachutes, but we have a lot of people to help us. Our own staff, of course, Chris Wallace, Judd Rose, two excellent correspondents who are with us. I can't name all the people, but I want to talk just a moment about some people that you may have noticed around you tonight, our studio audience, because we've invited people in to watch and to participate in Primetime Live. Now, we're going to work with our audience, not as Oprah or Donahue do with theirs. I mean, they are terrific shows, but that's not us. We're going to do it as Ted Koppel does it with Viewpoint or the town meetings. We have invited some people, and other people have just come to see our program, to participate in subjects and issues that they know something about and they're interested in. For instance, later on, we're going to talk about this awful week with the hostages and what President Bush has had to try to consider in trying to find a policy.
So, shall we get on with it?
Let's do it.
Let's begin. We are going to start tonight with a mystery story. It has captivated all of us since we first saw on the evening news broadcast 3 weeks ago a small Cessna plane floating in the ocean. The pilot of that plane was a man named Tom Root. He is joining us tonight, will be speaking with us live. But as we said, his tale is a strange puzzle, and we might as well take you back and let you see where it began. At 6:30 on a Thursday morning, Tom Root took off in his plane, heading out from Washington, D.C. for Rocky Mount, North Carolina. About an hour and a half later, when he was just outside Rocky Mount, he radioed air traffic controllers, telling them he had chest pains and was having trouble breathing. Those were the last words anyone heard from Tom Root. From that point on, his Cessna became a kind of ghost plane, wandering the sky on autopilot toward the Atlantic Ocean. U.S. military pilots raced to investigate.
It appeared to be a body just leaning against the door on his left side. He was on the left pilot seat.
The gentleman was in a position like this.
There were people buzzing him, trying to catch his attention.
19 jets and helicopters were dispatched from 13 different military bases, forming a strange aerial caravan as they circled and dipped around the little single-engine plane. Finally, after 4 hours and almost 1,000 miles, the tiny Cessna ran out of gas just off the Bahamas. While the big planes watched, the little plane and pilot began a slow spiral downward into the sea. This first chapter of the mystery ends with a miracle. Root was alive. But with his dramatic rescue, a new mystery was born. Tom Root had a bullet wound.
They asked him if he had any memory of the injury, and he said no. He said it must have happened on impact.
But Dr. Robert Cohen points out that there were powder marks on Root's abdomen, which indicate that the gun was fired at close range. And another question, can a revolver, like the one Root kept in the glove compartment of his plane, be triggered by the impact of a crash? Not according to Smith & Wesson, who make the revolver, and not according to gun dealer Jerry Pricer.
My feeling is that he probably shot himself. For the gun to go off by itself on impact is virtually impossible.
Every day, another twist. Now court papers have revealed that when police searched Root's airplane hangar on a tip last April, they discovered more than 25 guns, including a stun gun and submachine gun. All but one of the guns were properly registered. The police were looking for drugs, which they didn't find, but they did find a 5-gallon can of ether, which can be used to process cocaine. Tom's brother says that the ether was for cleaning oil off the plane.
A mechanic at some airport had said, "Have you tried ether? That's worked pretty well for me."
But if you ask an aviation mechanic of 25 years like Jim Alphin,
I have never heard of anyone ever using ether to clean an airplane.
And what about Root's business as an attorney for Sunrise Management based in Georgia? The company is under investigation because of charges that it deceived investors by promising it would help them get FM radio licenses. Root usually made money whether the licenses came through or not, and attorney Greg Gio says that may be just the point.
He didn't appear to care whether his clients got the radio station or whether they didn't.
Communications lawyer Lauren Colby says Root had taken on far too many clients.
He had become extremely controversial, had gotten a reputation of missing deadlines, missing dates.
So what is the answer to the mystery of Thomas Root? Have the secrets of his strange flight been buried in the bottom of the ocean with his beloved plane?
And we do want to solve the mystery, Mr. Root. Welcome to you. First of all, we should ask how you feel.
Pretty good, thank you.
I want to go back to the moment when you blacked out in that plane. You think it was carbon monoxide?
No, that's been pretty conclusively disproven. It was not carbon monoxide. I frankly never did know what it was, and we don't know to this day what it was.
Let me ask you about the gunshot wound. The doctor says that there were powder burns indicating that it was fired at close range.
Well, my response would be that if you've ever seen the interior of a Cessna 210, you are at close range to